is that she couldn't believe that I ate 24 slices of pizza, and then I did, and then we got married, and that's how I met my wife. We're on. Oh gosh.
Oh, this thing's on. Welcome, everybody. Week 17. Let's win some championships. Welcome to the show. It's Fantasy Football Today, presented by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. We're going to talk about the weather. We're going to talk about the Titans backfield. We're going to talk about the Panthers backfield. We're going to talk about Tyreek Hill with Tua most likely out, listed as doubtful for this game. We're going to help you bring home fantasy glory. Yeah, Adam, Dave, and Heath here. All right, guys. Feeling good? Feeling ready?
Feeling great. Ready to go. I'm in 4 finals. I'm leading in 2. I'm behind in 2. And I'm still feeling good, feeling optimistic, feeling positive. We're going to do this thing.
I'm just feeling a little bit unsure because Adam and I, Dave, are in a final.
And there aren't you in 2?
Two. We're in 2, but one of them there's some thing other than pride that we're playing for.
Oh, money.
And it's never been determined what the first, second place split is. And so I suggested, let's just split it 67% to the winner, 33% to second. Okay. And I'm just waiting to hear what Adam's response to that is.
I mean, should we pull up the matchup and see?
Yes.
No, I think
yes.
So, Dave,
go ahead, buddy.
When we're talking about integrity, the current projected score would not impact what you think the correct distribution of first and second places.
Correct. The projected score is
should have no impact.
The LED board on a roulette wheel. It doesn't mean anything.
But even if you thought, like he's trying to decide what is right for first and what is right for second, it's easier to decide that if you don't know if you're projected to win or lose. Like what is right is a fixed thing.
Correct.
What if we did
How come it's not 50-50?
What if we did one? Yeah, that's boring, right? Like it's not that.
I don't care. I made my suggestion. I'm waiting for Adam to say what he thinks we should do.
Dave, I started Joe Mixon, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Kaimi Fairbairn, and Hunter Henry. I got 11 points from those 4 players.
Take the offer. Take Heath's very generous offer.
I had T. Higgins. I'm favored to win right now.
Oh.
Oh, man. All right. So
your team names are,
Oh, you had Stafford. I didn't realize you had Stafford. Wow.
You know as well as anybody, Adam, that just because you had T. Higgins doesn't mean that you're running away with this thing.
I do just want to say, as people are looking at my very bad lineup, that last week I started Jalen Hurts and Tony Pollard and David Njoku. I was not allowed to start them this week.
Yeah.
No, you're allowed to. You're just not going
this week.
What?
Heath, how about 180? How about 180 to 120? How about 180 120?
That works for me.
All right, I agree. 180 120 split.
Okay.
All right, Dave, you're a witness.
I don't know what I'm really witnessing here. We got to answer some questions, though.
Let's do it.
So let's start with, I'm just looking at some inactives here. Davante Adams is active. Malik Nabers is active. Sauce Gardner is active. Nothing surprising here. Tony Pollard is inactive. Let's talk weather first, and let's talk about that Dolphins game. Tua is doubtful. Also, Anthony Richardson is not playing for the Colts. So I gave this stat for on the morning episode that we did. In 5 games with Joe Flacco, Josh Downs is averaging 16.7 PPR fantasy points per game. In 4 games without Tua, Tyreek Hill is averaging about 8 points per game. So I just want to put those 2 wide receivers in perspective here. It's insane. And we're expecting rain in New York, or New Jersey, but bad weather basically, more so in Cleveland. Do we have a weather update? What games are we concerned about right now, guys?
So I ran down a whole list of what's happening across the country with weather and how it's going to impact football games. I think the worst one is going to be Cleveland.
Yep.
Lots of wind, 14 miles an hour kickoff, only going up from there. There's gale warnings in the area until Monday. For those that don't know, the Brown Stadium is literally right on the lake. So those gale warnings are going to impact the game for sure. I wouldn't start a kicker in this game. I would lower expectations for the receivers in this game. And they were already lowered pretty low with Tyler Huntley and Dorian Thompson-Robinson playing. This could be one where the running backs really just take a huge amount of work. Maybe the tight ends get involved. So that's one that I'm really nervous about. I'm also fairly nervous about Buffalo and the Jets and Bills. There's high wind warnings in Orchard Park. Rain off and on, but significant wind all game long. You don't want to start Tyler Bass. And I think that the wind would affect any receiver that gets downfield targets. And you're already not starting Amari Cooper or Keon Coleman, but you might not feel so good about Garrett Wilson. He's got the higher ADOT compared to Davante Adams. I think it's okay for Adams. I think it's okay for Khalil Shakir. We are talking about two quarterbacks that do still have strong arms. So this is certainly something that could help those guys, and it might hurt the other receivers. I moved Garrett Wilson down a ton. And then the last one that I'm concerned about is tonight's game between the Falcons and the Commanders. That's not going to have a lot of wind. That's going to have a lot of rain. And that just makes it tough for both of these quarterbacks who don't have a lot of experience playing in rain. I don't know how bad the rain's going to be either, though. So this isn't one where I'm like freaking out and I'm going to sit Drake London. I'm going to sit Jaden Daniels. I'm not going to do anything like that. But I do think it is going to be sort of a factor in the game based on the forecast. You can see forecasts for every single game. If you go to my Twitter thread at Dave Richard, it's one of the first things that you'll see when you go and look at my profile. And
Kevin Roth is no Dave Richard, but when I'm not sure what Dave thinks, I look at his forecast. And he also has an orange rating, which is the same. Miami Cleveland's an orange rating. There's an orange rating on Tennessee at Jacksonville, a yellow orange on Carolina at Tampa Bay and Atlanta, Washington, and the Jets in Buffalo. The distinction with Jacksonville and Tampa, it seems, is that both of their storms right now come with lightning, and that's really bad. I hope nobody gets struck by it. But for fantasy football purposes, if there's lightning, they won't play, and so they may not play during the bad weather. That's what we're hoping for in Jacksonville. We're hoping for lightning that doesn't hit anything or anybody.
They definitely won't play if there's lightning. And just one last thing. If you look at the radar in Jacksonville, and again, I'm no weatherman. I deal with hard facts and fantasy football. That's it. Those two things, they're married together.
You're basically a weatherman.
No gray area when it comes to predicting what's going to happen in fantasy football. But with weather, anything could happen. But if you look at the radar, the big storm line that's heading toward Jacksonville, it looks like it's going to like sideswipe Jacksonville and then just move north. So I don't know how bad it's going to be. It's just something we got to keep an eye on.
I got to bring up a player to add here. Browns DST. They're 30% rostered. Dolphins DST is already 85% rostered. I just added the Browns in 2 leagues that I'm playing.
Both of them he's playing me. Both of them I am starting the Cowboys.
Yeah, so both of them I'm going to start the Colts over the Browns in one of the leagues. I have the Raiders in the other league, and I'm going to debate that one. The Browns DST really stinks. You think I should go Browns?
Go Cleveland.
All right, I'll go Cleveland here. And I looked at the 4 teams that played the Dolphins when Tua was out. It was the Seahawks, the Patriots, the Titans, and the Colts, I think. Something like, yeah. And they all had good – the DSTs all had good games. Some of them had great games. And now we've got bad weather too. I also want to bring up – and I'm sorry, I will get to your questions in a second – Davante Achane was awful in 4 games. 8.8, 5.9, 2.7, 10.5 fantasy points. He had a combined 9 catches in those 4 games. So before we get to, it's been way too long to answer questions, and I'm sorry. But before we get to that, where is Tyreek Hill? Where is Davante Achane? Where is Josh Downs in your rankings, Heath?
Tyreek Hill is only in my top 48 at wide receiver because his name is Tyreek Hill. He is not a top 36 wide receiver for him. I do not want to start him. But there's still a chance. Like, he still possesses the speed that he always has, and he might catch a pass and take one step that jukes somebody to the ground and go 75 yards for a touchdown. So there's still hope if you have to start him, but I don't want to. Davante Achane is still a top 12 running back for me. I'm starting Davante Achane. You're right about how bad he was. I don't care. I'm starting him. And the other one was who?
Josh Downs.
Josh Downs is a top 24 wide receiver. Basically, I just swapped Josh Downs and Tyreek Hill in the rankings this morning. Downs went from 40 to 22. Hill went from 22 to 40-something.
I'm not as bullish on Josh Downs because I do think that Jonathan Taylor could run for 300 yards. But let's call Josh Downs a number 3 wide receiver, and in full PPR, that's an easy start over Tyreek Hill. You know, the one thing about Tyreek, Heath, you laid out, well, he can still juke somebody and run 70 yards. He hasn't done that. And I don't think his speed is quite where it was earlier in his career. And now he's taking on a team that plays a lot of man coverage. Maybe that works out for him, but I'd want to have better conditions with Tua Tagovailoa to bet on something like that. One other name you didn't bring up, Adam, is Jonnu Smith. He's still a top 5 fantasy tight end for me because we've seen it over and over again. And I think we saw it before Tua came back where he was getting a lot of targets. He's a short area guy. He's somebody that I think is going to continue to see 5+ catches, get a bunch of yards, maybe score a touchdown. I can't set my lineup without him.
All right, let's get to some questions here because Tyjae Spears is definitely someone we're going to be asked a lot about today. And we're probably going to get some differing opinions from Dave and Heath and me as well. And I have Spears in 3 leagues, so I'm pumped. Achane or Ford?
Achane.
Spears or Bowers?
Ooh. So, like, the fact that we can't instant say Bowers?
I don't ever know how tight ends compare to any other position. That was the reason for my delay. I do have Brock Bowers a considerable margin ahead of Tyjae Spears, although I also ranked Kaimi Fairbairn as my number 1 kicker this week, and that worked really well in my matchup with Adam. So I might just move Tyjae Spears to RB1.
Tyjae Spears is an RB1 for me. I would expect him. I think he's going to play a ton for Tennessee. They're not going to play when it's lightning out there, but it could still be raining when he goes out there. And Jacksonville's defense is the pits. I'm going to take my chance on Tyjae Spears over Bowers.
We've got Spears, Nabers, Garrett Wilson, Jamison Williams, Calvin Ridley. Pick 3 here.
So I see these names, and Spears is the one that I gravitate to first and foremost. I like him the most. I'm going to double check my rankings to make sure. Heath, if you want to jump in, go ahead.
Nabers, Spears, and JMO is who I would start. I would sit Garrett Wilson. I would sit Calvin Ridley, and I think Dave's going to agree.
I've got JMO and Nabers over Ridley and over Garrett Wilson.
Ordinarily, I would start Wilson, but it's just a weather thing for you guys?
That's a big part of it, but it's also Davante Adams has like twice as many targets as maybe not twice as many targets overall on a per game basis. I think it's like 2 more per game than Garrett Wilson. But when it comes to red zone and end zone targets, he's got twice as many. Davante does ahead of Garrett Wilson, and Wilson is used further downfield. I can't trust him.
I'm just saying compared to JMO and Ridley, I'd usually go Wilson, but you guys said JMO over Wilson. Is that because of the weather?
Yes.
No.
Okay, it's just because of what it is. Thank you, Charles, for voting. Go to sportspodcastgroup.com. Vote for us. Click vote now, fantasy betting and gaming category. And let's get a 3rd championship for Charles, Spears, or Tracy.
Spears.
Tracy for me. And Adam, you've done a good job of highlighting Malik Nabers and how unspectacular he's been. Since Davante Adams joined the Jets in week 8, Malik Nabers and Jamison Williams both averaging more fantasy points per game than Garrett Wilson.
Okay. And I'm going to break the tie. I'm going to go with Tyjae Spears here. So sorry about Chase Brown wetting your bed. That's awkward. Would you play Jawan Jennings or Tyrone Tracy in full PPR?
I'm just going to remain the high guy on Tyrone Tracy. I expect that he's going to see 4 to 6 targets. I think he's probably going to have 10 to 15, maybe 10 to 12 rush attempts. He's an efficient player. He's a good pass catcher. I think he has upside. I'm starting him.
I get it, and he's definitely going to touch the ball more than Jawan Jennings will. I will take Jennings in a favorable matchup. I think the 49ers are going to kind of make this game their Super Bowl. And I don't know.
Wouldn't that be good for the Lions?
Really expect from what's that?
Wouldn't that be good for the Lions if the 49ers made this their Super Bowl?
Well, it'll certainly push the Lions to play.
I just meant because the 49ers don't win Super Bowl.
Listen, I got to bring up.
I like Jawan Jennings matchup. I think Brock Purdy throws a lot. I'm going to go with Jennings over Tyrone Tracy.
I know if you've been listening, I've been deliberating, or I was Bo Nix versus Purdy. I settled on Purdy. When I saw that San Francisco's right tackle was questionable, I almost made the switch. I wish I had. But I think if you're concerned at all about the Niners, I mean, they're going to be without at least three. I mean, their offensive line sucks. I don't know how many guys are typically starters, how many guys are backups that were filling in for starters, but they might be without their right tackle too. So that they have one of the worst offensive line situations going into this game. Blackshear, Abdullah, or Dontavian Wicks, non-PPR.
Who's got the most upside of these three? It's Wicks and non-PPR.
So I think it's Blackshear. If I was choosing based on projection, it would also be Blackshear. And the difference is I think Blackshear also has the lowest floor of these three, because we don't know for sure how the touches are going to be distributed for the Panthers. But I think there's a very good chance that a running back catches 4 or 5 passes for the Panthers in this game.
Yeah, so where do you guys have Blackshear?
RB30?
I don't know if I have him that high.
Do you have him the highest?
I've got a personal vendetta with Mike Boone, so I'm maybe not the best person to ask. Both Panthers running backs are outside of my top 36. Blackshear would be the one that I would start in full PPR. I wouldn't want to trust either one of them in non-PPR. Like for me, Blackshear's third on this list. And if we're specifically looking for upside in a non-PPR, give me the wide receiver that's playing in a dome without Christian Watson, taking that role, potentially could have a couple of big plays. Jamie talked about it all week. The last time that we saw Wicks play without Christian Watson, he had a big game. And so I would take the chance on that big game over Amir Abdullah scoring a touchdown for what would it be, like the third week in a row. And for some reason, I'm getting the feeling the Saints are coming to play against the Raiders, and the Saints might knock off the Raiders in a game no one really gives a damn about. But I'm just gonna, specifically for upside, not someone who's safe. Give me Wicks.
I don't want to give anybody any PTSD over the Ramondre Stevenson, Antonio Gibson thing, but Darren Gant does say that Raheem Blackshear will get the start for the Panthers.
Oh, I expect that. What I would expect is for sure Blackshear on passing downs. Lock that in because he's done that before. But I think he and Boone will probably like split drives. So the first drive could be Blackshear, second drive will be Boone, but when it's third down, it's Blackshear.
2-minute drill, Blackshear.
Yes.
Garbage time, Blackshear.
What
Hopefully.
kind of garbage time?
What do you mean?
Well,
guys,
if
they're
the
10-point
Panthers
underdogs.
playing with a lead, it might be Boone.
Yeah, I don't think
So-
they're 10-point underdogs.
Okay, so by the way, Mike Boone, I knew there was something, right? Mike Boone, 2019 with the Minnesota Vikings. Both
I'm even if you're going to bring this up.
Both Madison and Cook get hurt in week 14. In week 15, fantasy playoffs, Mike Boone goes for 17.6 points. In week 16, which is the fantasy championship, 11 carries, 28 yards, 1 catch for 5 yards, 4.3 fantasy points for Mike Boone. And then just to add insult to injury, in week 17, when nobody's playing anymore, 17 carries, 148 yards and a touchdown, 2 catches for 12 yards, 24 fantasy points for Mike Boone. All right, back to the questions here. Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield?
Not Mike Boone. Baker.
I still have Baker's the one who is in it at the very least a questionable weather game that I've just not moved. He's still a top 5 quarterback for me. Darnold's only like a point behind him in the projections. They're both great starts. Good problem to have.
Yeah, I would start Darnold because this is going to crush me. I mean, I'm starting Baker in 3 leagues.
Right.
I'm nervous about it. Like, I know he's really good and all that, but you just said they're 10-point underdogs. The weather are 10-point favorites. The weather's not great. Everyone runs all over Carolina. I think it's worth noting, especially if you're talking about like McMillan in the flex. This could be a 28 pass attempt game, which has kind of been the norm for them when in their little like.
And you got to get Mike Evans his 100 so he can stay on pace for 1,000.
Exactly. Josh Downs or Jamison Williams PPR?
I believe I have Downs higher.
Give me Downs.
Flacco.
No, I had Jameson 2 spots higher. My bad. Jameson.
All right, we got a super flex here. Flacco, Rudolph, or McMillan PPR?
4 or 6 points per pass touchdown.
Give me both.
In 6, it's Flacco. I think in 4, it's McMillan.
I'll take Flacco either way.
Spears or Juwan Jennings, half PPR?
Tajay.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
The chatter, formerly known as Frank in the chat. Can you rank the weather DSTs?
Great question.
So I think that wind is the best weather DST. Probably cold, I would say, is the second best weather DST. Rain would be the third best weather DST. Snows actually gives up a lot of big plays.
Yes.
Not a big fan of snow.
And honestly, it's got to be heavy rain for it to even register on the DST scale.
Right.
But if he's looking for teams that are playing in bad weather, look, the Colts, the weather isn't necessarily that bad in Jersey, but they're playing the Giants. They're bad. They'd be at the top of my list. The Eagles would be next. They're playing the Cowboys without CeeDee Lamb. Dolphins.
Those teams are literally not playing in bad weather, are they?
Who?
This is a weather DST question. You named two teams
about the teams that are playing in bad weather.
Dolphins would be one.
Dolphins would be one.
Browns would be two. Actually, Bills 1, Dolphins 2, Browns 3 for me. If Bills,
I would take the Dolphins over the Bills.
Yeah, the Bills, when they face a good offense, they're not a good DST.
They're
facing a much better offense than the Dolphins or the Browns are facing.
True.
Rashad White or Tajay Spears is a question.
Spears.
I wanted to do this. Yes, I will go with White. I took over the question here because I thought it was a good question. Can Heath explain why he's so low on Thielen compared to Jamie and Dave? Xavier gets back, right?
Yeah.
And Jalen Coker's healthy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're playing in at least a little bit of a storm.
Maybe.
They've got an implied total of 18.
Yikes.
17 and a half, I think it just went down to. I don't think that Adam Thielen sees a 25 or 30% target share in this game. I think it's probably 20% for three different guys. And I think that the weather may mitigate the defense a little bit.
Okay.
I'd see it differently. I don't know if I've got time to rebut.
Yeah. Well, how about this? Start one, London, Thielen, Myers.
I don't think Thielen's going to be my answer here.
London.
London's going to be my answer here. And that's assuming that the latest forecast just says rain in Washington. It doesn't say crazy heavy downpour and big wind or anything like that. So I think it'll be okay for London. So I agree with Heath on this one, but I still think Thielen's going to get a lot of targets. It's great that Lee getting Coker back. Guess what? Thielen still sees a lot of targets when those guys play. So I'm going to count on Thielen, maybe having a lower ADOT than normal, but getting a lot of looks and a 20% target share. If Bryce Young throws, 35 times, that's still 7 targets. Now I think he knew better than that even.
I will just, and this is factoring into my projections, and it might just be wrong, but the last 2 weeks since Jalen Coker has returned, Thielen's had 6 and 7 targets. I think if he's 6 or 7 targets with his efficiency, that's a problem.
By the way, just going to read a tweet that I think we already, good?
Yeah. No.
We already brought up, but in case you're just joining us, David Newton of ESPN, who covers the Panthers, says Raheem Blackshear will start at running back for the Panthers with Chuba Hubbard on IR. Suspect Mike Boone will get a fair share of carries as well. And by the way, the Bucs have allowed 3.3 yards per carry to running backs in their last 6 games. That is the best in the NFL. That includes Christian McCaffrey, Tyrone Tracy, Chuba Hubbard, who had 12 carries for 43 yards, Sincere McCormick, Gus Edwards, and Rico Dowdle. So it's been a good run defense. All right, let's see. How about Tyreek Hill, Rico Dowdle, Tyrone Tracy, Jawan Jennings, and half PPR? We need one.
I'll take the last 2.
Yeah. I think it needs one though.
Tracy.
Then I think I have Tracy over Jennings.
I can't believe this, people. I am starting Dontavian Wicks and Chigo Okonkwo over Tyreek Hill today. I mean, I can't believe that. I don't think I'm going to get it right, but I just see there's so little upside, I think, for Tyreek. Oh, she said yeah. Very clever. 4-point per passing touchdown. Start 3. One of them is Superflex. Darnold, Jennings, A.J. Brown, Evans. Wow. James Cook, Tajay Spears. I'm going to stop there.
Darnold.
One, right? Yeah.
Evans
has to be in there.
Darnold and Evans are the top 2 for me.
Yes. Cook's got to be in there. And Spears has to get in there.
Well,
I mean,
only
3.
You only start 3, so.
And A.J. Brown. You guys not considering Brown here?
I would, but he's got a lot of really good options.
I have to decide against Adam whether I bench James Cook or AJ Brown.
I might take Spears over Cook too.
I would rather have James Cook than AJ Brown, I believe.
I would go Darnold, Evans, and Cook, and I don't trust you, Adam.
Actually, I would honestly rather have AJ Brown in full PPR.
I will take Darnold, Cook, and Spears. Give me those pass catching running backs, potentially playing in bad weather, along with Sam Darnold.
Oh, that's so funny. Flacco or Bryce Young?
Joe.
Bryce.
Oh, thank you for voting. Tyjae Spears or Jerome Ford?
Spears.
More believable, the guy who has a different thing to celebrate every week, or the people who say I just voted before they question.
The voted people. I know Mr.
Okay. Tyjae Spears, yes. I agree.
Why is Jamie questioning your Azer and I have agreed on 180-120 split for Magazine League, and he just put a question mark.
He hates splits.
The pot is 120.
What?
A $20 league? I thought that was a $50 league.
That would make it a $10 league. It's not a $10 league. No, he's crazy.
Which league?
The Magazine League.
I don't know. I think you got. Don't you pay like $25 for that league?
We have no $10 leagues.
We might have a $10 league. This is the freaking league I might win, a $10 league. Colts or Dolphins?
The one playing the Giants.
I go Colts, but this is tough.
The world. I'd rather just be zero.
Yeah, let's not even play.
Like, just $10.
Kendry Miller or Raheem Blackshear?
You could combine. I'll take Blackshear. You could combine the pot and just have a winner take all.
No.
Loser gets nothing.
All right, we got to find out what the split is. Madison Reed or Bigsby at flex?
League commissioned by a guy that doesn't collect fees until March Madness.
And literally, also what's worse than the allegedly it's $10, which I'm pretty sure it's 25. Still not even a decimal scoring league. Like just
Schaefer says he won it last year and it was 20.
I'm surprised Schaefer won.
No, why? Schaefer's great.
Wow.
That was
wow.
Shapey T.
20. Come on, Jamie.
What's the question?
Madison, Reed, or Bigsby, half PPR?
Whew. I think I want to say Reed.
I do too.
Okay, how about Davante Smith or Malik Nabers?
Don't love either one.
$10 league.
I don't think we do a $10 league.
I know we don't.
Yeah, I've got Nabers over Smith.
I have Nabers over Smith by a lot.
Okay. Pick two from this group.
I guess I should say, I think the Cowboys defense is going to get after Kenny Pickett today. I think it's a bad time.
He's handing off to Saquon Barkley 30 times.
I think it's a bad time for Eagles not named Saquon.
Wilson, Hill, Downs.
Yeah, sit Hill.
I will take Downs. PPR helps. I will pick
two.
Colts. Okay, well, I picked the Colts and Downs. That's
two. I see. I thought we picked 2 out of 3 and then picked the defense.
No, it's 2 out of 3 and then pick the defense. Wilson over Hill.
Yes.
Tyreek Hill.
Jonnu Smith or Chigo Conquo?
Jonnu.
Jonnu by the slightest of margins.
The league constitution does say $10. So
does that mean Jamie's making $10 a man off this league?
Is Indy the best DST?
I think they are.
Okay. Spears or Nabers, half PPR? I'd go Spears. Every time I say Tyjae Spears' name, I think of Braveheart. Every time. We'll build Spears. Just so y'all know.
Every time I say Tyjae's name, I think of Tajay Sharp, who's one of my favorite player of mine. Gone wrong.
Tajay Sharp. Breece Hall or Tyjae Spears, Colts or Eagles? This is a very poorly punctuated question here.
He just wants answers. Who cares? This isn't a term paper, Professor Azer. Spears and Colts.
Well, what's up with the hyphen? Colts are negative Eagles. Spears and Colts for Dave. What about you, Heath?
Yeah, I will go with Spears and Eagles.
Achane or Bucky Irving? Bucky.
Achane.
I want to see who I have ranked higher. I believe I have Bucky. They are back to back. I will take Achane over Bucky. I'm going to change that. Give me Bucky over Achane.
Achane or Spears?
I don't like that.
We'll build Spears.
No, I'm going to go Achane still.
Achane.
I am actually going to go Spears. I've already given that advice today, so I'll stick with it. Ford or Khalil Shakir?
Ford.
Yeah, I'll go Ford. Heath, you look like you're up to something.
I'm trying.
Breaking your house to scare you.
I'm trying to confirm, and I think it is amazingly enough a $10 league.
We're not splitting the pot, right? We're just going to play it out.
I think we'll have to just play it out.
Okay. Tua hurt me deeply. Calvin Ridley or Tyreek Hill or Jalen McMillan, and then Johnny or Chig.
Is this Stephen Ross's burner account? I will take. Hill is going to be third for me among those receivers. I'm definitely starting Ridley and McMillan ahead of him. I've got McMillan the highest, and I would start Jonnu over Chig Okonkwo.
AJ Brown or Mike Evans, PPR?
Evans.
Yeah.
Kittle or Bowers, Jennings or Cook?
Give me Kittle and give me Cook. Let's cook in the kettle with Kittle.
All right, Heath's on a little adventure over there. I think AJ Brown, Brian Thomas Jr., Mike Evans. We need two here.
Sit AJ.
Sit AJ.
Oh man, Allen or Jordan Love? This is a weather question.
Allen.
Spears, Jennings, McMillan. Pick two.
Sit McMillan.
I think I'm sitting McMillan.
Garendo or Tracy, PPR?
Tracy.
I have Juwan over McMillan. I will take. Let me check how I have that ranked. No. I've got Garendo one spot ahead of Tracy.
All right. How many times have you looked at your lineups this week?
Many.
God. Yeah,
I had to do it Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, twice on Saturday, and then I still haven't done it yet today.
Oh, man. Mystery solved. It is a confirmed $10 league. Thank you, Schaefer, for doing this research. Brian Thomas Jr., Tajay Spears, or Josh Downs in half PPR?
Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, as much as I like Spears. Brian Thomas Jr. Flacco, Mac Jones, or Mason Rudolph?
It's just like we thought it would be. Week 17, fantasy championship, Joe Flacco leads you to victory. 2 touchdowns for him, 2 touchdowns to Jonathan Taylor.
How many for the DST? Can we save some for them?
We'll have 2 as well.
Is Flacco Jones or Rudolph? Yeah, definitely sit. I'd definitely go with Flacco.
Yeah.
Last year
to 3.
In the fantasy championship, Joe Flacco scored 28.7 fantasy points at 6 point per passing touchdown.
He's clutch.
And in the semifinals, he scored 30.8.
I have him.
Shannon's team went up in smoke. Hurts, Lamb, Njoku. Connor and Fairbairn disappointed. Lethworthy on my bench. Yikes. All right, we need a wide receiver. Judy, Turpin, Wicks, Zacchaeus.
Judy.
No, I would.
Wicks.
I'd go Wicks.
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah.
Bam. Dave and I, we're gonna do fist bumps we're gonna do Tajay Spears fist bumps.
We are not going to do Tajay Spears.
We'll do Wicks. Okay, fine. We'll do Wicks. Oh, $9 league. Ford, Spears, Debo, Myers, Bucky. Pick one.
If I'm picking one, it's Bucky.
Yeah, same.
I think I'm playing in a third place game that's worth more than the Magazine League Championship game. I'll go with Bucky.
I'm about to join a gym, and I was really hoping that I could use some of my fantasy winnings to join a gym. I'm not even be able to get the membership fee. Rodgers, Bryce Young, or Flacco, PPR.
Bryce. Rodgers.
Flacco.
Okay, we said all three names. Rodgers.
If you want to feel better about Rodgers, just know that I sat him and started Matthew Stafford last night. So good things are coming for Aaron Rodgers.
That's right. I was trying to block you from getting those guys. Turned out I successfully did not block you.
Yes.
London, Nabers, Debo, Hall, or Ford. Pick 3. Need upside here.
London, Neighbors, Hall.
I will go. Ford's going to be in there for me. I will probably take him with London and Neighbors.
All right. Jamison Williams, Rico Dowdle, Isaac Arendo, Jalen McMillan, PPR.
It bothers me that I don't know my rankings better.
Dowdle.
No, I might have Garendo higher.
I don't want Dowdle.
Almost
You
cursed just now.
seem okay with Dowdle this week, Heath.
I mean, I think he's a low end number 2 running back. None of these guys are must starts. J-Mo's not a top 24 wide receiver. McMillan's not a top 24 wide receiver. Garendo's maybe barely a top 24 running back.
Yeah. I think Jamison Williams has the highest floor.
That's who I'm taking.
That is a sentence that I am not sure has ever been uttered in the history of Jamison Williams.
He scored
true.
11.8 or more PPR fantasy points in 6 straight games.
That's good. Yeah.
He has 6 or more targets in 5 of those games. He's usually 6 to 8 targets. And, hopefully this game gets loose, gets high scoring. Downs or McMillan, standard scoring.
Downs.
McMillan.
Garrett Wilson or McMillan?
McMillan.
That one is really, really close for me, but I will go with Garrett Wilson.
Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco?
Can he pick it? Yes, he can. I'd go Flacco.
Yeah.
Flacco,
It was
okay.
very deceiving.
Very
Way to start that answer.
The person just shut off the stream like in the middle of your sentence. Aiden O'Connell or Joe Flacco?
Flacco.
I've got Flacco, but I do think it's being influenced a little bit just by emotions because AOC is higher in the rankings or projections, but I'll go Flacco in the rankings.
It is unbelievable what people are who they're starting in week 17. Look at these questions. The running back position has just gone to pieces.
And they should just be thankful that they didn't start top 5 running backs and top 5 wide receivers earlier, and they get to choose from these terrible players.
Like Mixon and who else?
Nico wasn't really good.
Yeah, no, Nico wasn't. Higgins was good.
Higgins was very good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was pretty pumped. All right, Ridley or Spears? We'll build Spears. Dave, Spears.
I don't know why you're showing us
Yeah,
your
I'll go Spears.
It's Spears.
I'll fist bump you this time, Adam.
Yeah, all right. Spears. Jaden Reed, Rashad White, Josh Downs, PPR.
Downs.
I think I have White higher.
Boom, 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 boom.
I have both
Range.
both Bucky and White as top 20 backs, so I'm pretty much starting both of them.
The answer to this one is Ertz, but double check to make sure that Okonkwo isn't on your waiver wire.
Tyreek Hill or Jalen Coker, is this real life?
Tyreek. I am not there yet with Jalen Coker. I am sorry.
So I have Tyreek projected for 8.9 points and Coker for 8.4. So yeah, I agree with Dave.
Yeah,
Tyreek.
and I'll just do a little bit of optimism because if you weren't tuning in 35 minutes ago or whatever, Tyreek Hill scored. He scored 3-12. No. That's what Miami scored. Miami scored 3, 12, 15, and 10 points in 4 games without Tua. Tyreek Hill was awful. He averaged about 8 points per game in PPR. But Jalen Waddle did average 5 targets per game, and he's unlikely to play today. So maybe that helps a little.
One situation I just saw that I didn't realize. And I need to update the projections, if not the rankings. Jordan Mims is inactive. He was the guy who was splitting fairly evenly with Kendre Miller last week. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire was activated off the practice squad. Clyde. So if you couldn't get your good luck player before, Clyde might not be a bad one to throw on the bench. It's a good story. Him going back home. Played at LSU, right?
Yeah, he did.
Get signed with the Saints. He's been battling some stuff all year long. So I hope
is he their third down back? Let me check and see if Mims was their third down guy.
And probably has a great history against the Raiders, just because.
Yeah.
Hold
on. I want to investigate this.
All right. I don't know why, because no one in the world is going to start Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but investigate.
Mims barely played. He had the majority of third down snaps last week, so maybe that's the role that Clyde is taking. Could also be Jamal Williams that gets a bump up.
Hawkinson or Okonkwo, PPR.
Chig.
Definitely Chig Okonkwo.
BB Nem Eats. Thank you very much. We appreciate your comment and the fact that you're here, just without even a question. We appreciate that too. You can vote for us. That'd be cool too. This is from Ramandeep, Davante Smith, or Jaden Reed, or Chig.
Reed.
I'd probably take Smith over Reed.
Bijan, Taylor, Evans, or St. Brown. Taylor, Evans. What?
He's starting Taylor and Evans. He wants to know if Bijan or St. Brown should be with him. The answer is Bijan.
Yeah. Okay. Kincaid or Okonkwo?
Okonkwo.
Yes.
James Cook, Jamison Williams, or Jawan Jennings? Ooh, a lot of J's.
Cook.
Fire up the grill.
I got an air fryer, by the way. Very excited.
Yes.
Not only is it an air fryer, it's a slow.
He's more excited than you are.
It's like it's got like 8 functions. It's really cool.
So okay. So it's not a smoker, but that's. I thought you just said it's like a smoker. But it's not.
No.
It's an air fryer, which is
don't ever say that again.
This is going to change your life. It's fantastic.
Yes. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, you'll love it.
Get some pizza, leave some leftovers, and the next day reheat it in the air fryer. And man, oh man.
Ooh, all right. I like it. Can I do a burger in there? Air fryer burger league?
I believe people do burgers in air fryers. I have not. I have a grill.
Aaron Jones, Jawan Jennings, or Jamison Williams? Flex one.
Jones.
I'm gonna go Jones.
I'll go Jones too, but I don't love the matchup for him.
Yeah, it was Mr. Jones, by the way.
PR, this could be Jawan.
London, Downs, Ford, PPR.
London.
I'll take Ford.
Ooh, this is a tough one right here. Where is it? Aaron Jones or I can't click on it, but it's Aaron Jones or
so tough.
Tajay Spears.
I'd go Spears over Jones.
Every time I search for Jordan Mims' name to take him out of my top 150, I see Marvin Mims first, and I just wanted to say, heck of a job last night, Marvin Mims.
Amazing.
Maybe that guy should see more than 4 or 5 targets a game.
Where'd you have him ranked?
110.
Yeah, that's better than me. I had him 132.
All
right, I'm gonna share a. Did you answer that question, by the way? Spears or Jones?
Yeah, I was
talking about Marvin Mims. Jones for me.
Dave, Spears.
Ooh.
Spears, baby. Spears. All right, let me share. Let me share a tweet real quick. Share screen. This one, and here we go.
In content, by the way,
Kevin Roth
and.
Oh yeah, I mean. You could have shared Dave's
15 minutes ago. 15 minutes ago. All right. So his weather impact rankings. Miami at Cleveland is number 1. Major wins. Man, love the DSTs there. And now I feel comfortable sitting Tyreek Hill for Chig and Wicks. Tennessee at Jacksonville looks wet. Jets at Bills, Atlanta at Washington, some showers and wind. All right, I'm not too worried there. Carolina at Tampa Bay, chance for rain. I think I'm just mostly gonna play those games like normal. Maybe downgrade like Adams and Wilson a little bit. Dallas at Philadelphia and Indianapolis at the Giants. Not too worried here. I'm starting to
Keep
think
the screen up for a second.
Okay.
Why is another fantasy football's live stream higher than ours on your page?
I have no idea. I didn't.
Something you want to tell us? Is there something you want to say?
That's on Twitter. That's just on Twitter. That's not like this live stream.
Right, but don't they kind of, put things in places based on your preferences?
Me and Elon, we haven't talked in a while. I don't know what he's thinking.
What would happen if you clicked our live stream while?
I will say another way to kind of judge the weather is by the over-under. And the Miami-Cleveland game is down to 33, which is not the lowest ever. I remember one lower than that, but this is terrible. I do not think that I can handle this.
Okay.
But 33 points for Miami and Cleveland. The one that was second for him, Tennessee at Jacksonville, is 38. There are some other non-weather games like the Cowboys and Eagles that are 37.5. But yeah, it's a bad week.
Remember that though that's being driven by the public betting those games, and they're all betting the under, so that forces the line to go down. That's not because the odds makers who are, sharper than anybody else see that coming. They're covering their butts by doing that.
But there's
But it's also
you and I probably aren't moving those lines.
No, it's an adjustment for those for the weather there. I mean, obviously, because they have to. There's a reason they're moving it down. I remember that Saints Browns game last year. I think that had like an 18-point over under or something crazy. Do you remember that game?
I was thinking it was 29, which would still be insanely low. Under. I don't think there's ever been one below 21.
It's like calling an air fryer a smoker.
Can you check?
I will certainly lowest over under NFL history.
Yeah. Let's see what.
And let me get through all the AI stuff that actually lies. Okay.
Help people. Help us. Help them.
Yeah. 28 is the lowest.
Oh, was that game?
No, it happened 4 times, all in 1993.
Terrible year.
Wilson, Shakir, or Thielen, PPR?
I was 17. Thielen, Shakir, Wilson.
I would go Wilson, Shakir, Thielen.
Oh, interesting. Were you guys playing fantasy football in 1993?
No. I was in middle school.
Yeah. I wasn't
born yet.
9. Started Connor and Stevenson. Okay, appropriate avatar for you then. McManus or Reichard, half PPR, and then McLaurin or London.
I have to go and see what my kicker rankings are. I'm not going to apologize for not memorizing those. I will take McLaurin over London. My kicker rankings have Reichard ahead of McManus.
So we got an Aubrey McManus question too. I'm not downgrading Aubrey.
I'm not there yet.
Why would we? I mean, the guy's the best kicker, and he scored 20 points last week.
Well, he's facing the Eagles, so with Cooper Rush at quarterback, it might be a hard time getting into field goal range.
Right.
I think it'd be fine. It's a good point. That's a good point. McMillan, Ford, or Dobbs? Pick one.
Ford.
This can't be real. Wow. Down 133 to nothing.
It's over, Kip.
No, not necessarily. I mean,
no. Don't give up. Never surrender.
J-Mo, Tracy, Jalen McMillan. We need 2.
Oh, it might not be over with those guys. I would sit Tracy here.
I would sit McMillan. Dave, would you rather be down 133-0 heading in today, or find out that one of your championships was a $10 league?
Let's ask Jamie. What's up, $10 commish?
Not my choice. It's all you cheap bleeps.
I don't think you're using the right.
I'm not in that one.
Jamie, if you fix your microphone, we'll bring you right back.
From $10 league to $10 mic.
Yeah, no, I wish I was a $10 Mike. Davante Smith, Josh Downs, or Deebo Samuel.
There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Tap on your mic. Now you're using the computer, but you got to change your settings. All right, Davante, Josh Downs, or Deebo?
Downs.
I'm on Deebo. I'm feeling Deebo. Nobody's feeling Deebo?
I liked Debo without Garindo more than I like Debo with Garindo.
That's a good point. All right, Downs is pretty good. Okay, Jalen McMillan. No, I don't have it, Jamie. Sorry. Jalen McMillan, Jamison Williams, or Adam Thielen, and then a tight end question too. Oh, sorry about that.
McMillan, JMO, or Thielen. I will go JMO, and I will go. I'm going. Is it full PPR?
Let's
Doesn't
just assume so.
I'm going to go with Okonkwo. Man, I think Ferguson in full PPR is actually the best of those three.
Maybe Ferguson. I could see that. I will take Thielen at wide receiver, and I'll take Thielen here too.
I'll take Nabers over Thielen.
All right. Rashad White, Jerome Ford, Tyjae Spears, Jalen McMillan. Pick two.
Spears, Ford. When Jamie comes back, don't tell him what you're doing with the fist.
Okay.
I would go with Spears and White.
Okay. As long as we agree on Spears. I would go Spears and Ford. Let me give you my fear for Rashad White, Heath. He only had 3 carries last week. They are 10-point favorites, as you mentioned. If he's not as involved in the passing game, because they were trailing last week, and he's only getting, I'm going to project him for more than 3 carries. But if he's got a pretty limited role in the running game and he's not trailing, I think there's actually some downside, like significant downside for Rashad White.
So I think that's a good point. I don't think that there's a person on this list that doesn't have significant downside. So I do agree. I do think if they go as run heavy as you're worried they will, Rashad White's going to have double-digit carries. Might be 18 for Bucky and 10 for White. But I do think you guys should probably, like, it's been a while, and people keep asking why I'm low on Spears. You guys should probably like give the positive case for Tyjae Spears and why he's going to be awesome. The reason I'm low on him is just because he's not been very good this year. He has 2 games with 18 touches, and he's averaged like 45 yards a game in those 2 games.
Yeah. No, I don't know what that's about. That does bother me. But Madison and Abdullah both scored a touchdown last week against the Jaguars. I think he's going to catch a lot of passes. The Jaguars give up the second most fantasy points to running backs and the second most receiving yards to running backs. And it's a great matchup. He's a feature back. I think 15 plus touches for sure, maybe 20 plus touches. And I don't know.
We would start any running back in this game. It could be
feature back. Yeah.
We did last week. We were interested in Abdullah and Alexander Madison, and those guys were splitting. Now it's Tyjae Spears, who will probably lose some carries to Julius Chestnut. But this dude scored over 20 PPR points each of the last 2 weeks while sharing with Tony Pollard. If you're telling me that he's going to play more, share less, and he's got an even better matchup than he had over the last 2 weeks, I'm in.
And I have him as a starting running back. I wasn't saying I don't. I just don't. I think you guys are like top 12, and I don't have him that high.
Jamie, where do you have Tyjae Spears?
13th right now.
Ooh, you sound good. A little
Beautiful.
quiet. If you could make it louder, that'd be good, but you sound really nice. You have him 13th. Or just do that. That works too. How we doing, Jamie?
Good. How are you?
A little disappointed. Thought we were going to win a little bit more money in the magazine league, but you know, it's okay.
I try every year. I say, do you guys want to raise the entry fee? And there's always 1 or 2 people that say no. So we just do it mostly for fun, but a little incentive.
Think about how the league. Wilson, London, or Chig?
London.
London.
Let's get Jamie's take on Tyreek Hill. Let's see, who are the big hot button guys? So we know he's 13th for Spears in his RB rankings. Tyreek Hill, give me your thoughts on all the Dolphins. Give me your thoughts on the Colts. Give me your thoughts on the DSTs.
Downgraded all the Dolphins, including the DST, just because I think it gives the Browns a little bit more of a competitive advantage, but it's still a low-scoring game. Still, the Dolphins are top 5 DST, but Colts are now number 1 for me, which I was back and forth the entire week. HN went from like RB4 to like 10. He was awful without Tua. Jonnu went from tight end 3 to like tight end 10. Tyreek went from 13th to 39th.
Wow, significant downgrades there. Okay. Your thoughts on the Colts? Josh Downs, getting a lot of Josh Downs questions.
Yeah, high end wide receiver 3. I had one tough call in one league where I wasn't sold on Mooney as a flex, so I have Downs on the bench, going with Downs over Mooney, for example, especially with some of the weather concerns there later in Washington. So he gets a bump. Pittman was unranked for me, and now is ahead of Tyreek, for example. So I would start Pittman over Tyreek Hill. I know that sounds crazy, but just like the setup for Flacco even more. We got finished talking on HQ about how the Giants will play the Colts now, with Flacco there, and just basically forcing him to throw. I don't know if that's necessarily going to work, just because the Giants are terrible. But I think just you look at what's the track record has been with the receivers. They play much better clearly with a capable passer, and Joe Flacco is a more capable passer at this point than Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. Okay. And if people are wondering, is this good or bad for Jonathan Taylor? I think it's good. He's going to throw to Taylor. He's thrown to him like 4 times a game when Taylor and Flacco have been on the field, sometimes even more. And he's still going to run all over the Giants. So, all right, let's answer some questions here. Nick Westbrook-Akine or Michael Pittman, half PPR?
Pittman.
The weather in Jacksonville could be awful. Absolutely awful.
Yeah.
Want me to get an update on all the weather, Adam?
Yeah, Kevin didn't seem too concerned about that one. He was
the second worst.
Oh, it was?
It was the second. It was the whole key to Jacksonville is it's going to be awful. Is there lightning that will cause it to be delayed? So the worst stuff they don't play in. If they don't have a delay, it's going to be terrible.
Okay, so here's what Kevin said. It's Kevin Roth at Kevin Roth WX. Here's the latest in Jacksonville. Main line is pushing through now, but there's still a decent amount of rain back behind it for game time. Not currently seeing much, if any, lightning, so I'd expect the game to play without a delay. He also has a tweet. Everything looks great around Tampa for kickoff. You've got a chance for a shower or storm later in the game, but it's nothing more than that. Chance for some rain. Wind also in good shape. So that is encouraging for the Tampa game. And there actually could be some lightning in Jacksonville. He said I spoke too soon. There could be some lightning there, which we're hoping for a lightning delay. Okay. All right. Let's go back to the questions here. Where'd Dave go? Bye, Dave.
He's out of here.
Oh, crap. Did I have that question up the whole time and then I never answered it? I'm sorry. Ask it again. Jane Daniels or Sam Darnold for $800, not 10.
It's similar.
Daniels. The question was Dolphins or Browns DST. I don't know if there's more to it, but I would take Dolphins.
Jamie, break the tie. Was there a tie on this one? Spears versus Cook, McMillan versus Downs.
I will go Cook and McMillan.
And I would go Cook and Downs.
Okay.
So now I think there's a true 2-2 tie.
I would take McMillan over Downs, and I do have Spears over Cook. I don't feel very strongly over it, though. I'm trying to get the weather forecast, and my computer died on me. So,
you think Kevin Roth's computer dies on him? I don't think so.
No, but he's a legit weatherman. I'm just a fat schlub who's looking at weather.com.
Ben says I can't fade everyone because of weather, guys. Yeah, I know there is some of that too.
So here's the latest forecast in Jacksonville: thunderstorms raging between now until about 3:00. After that, it's going to be cloudy and modest wind. If they delay the game, there will be no weather impact. Does the NFL play through thunderstorms?
It totally depends on whether or not there's
50 fans there probably care, so they got to safety for the people that are watching.
Yeah, they'll play unless there's lightning.
If you got a free ticket, would you rather go see Jags, Titans, or Saints, Raiders?
Saints, Raiders.
Jags, Titans. Well,
could the winner of the magazine league buy a ticket? How close could you get?
Jamie, are you talking about in the elements? Because I don't want to sit in the rain.
You two can spearhead the movement to raise the entry fee, and I'd be happy with it.
We could Tajay Spears head it.
There you
Okay, Mike needs a question. He hasn't had a question answered all season long.
Oh, wow.
Brees Hall or Tajay Spears? And then which DST do you like there?
Spears and Browns.
I'm with you.
Hall and Browns.
I'm moving Spears down a little bit.
Dave Spears.
Spears.
Yeah. Jamie?
Spears.
Yeah. All right. Spears, HN, 4 downs. We need 2. Browns or Bills, DST?
First 2 running backs and Bills.
I'm with
Agreed.
you. All the way around. Look at this. Now we're agreeing.
Can't look at my damn lineups anymore. It's driving me crazy. I feel like I'm missing something. I've looked at them 100 times.
The worst is my IDP final because I don't always see the news on those inactives. And so I keep checking for the news updates on my guys playing at 1 o'clock because that happened to me once. I started an inactive linebacker.
Yuck.
Tyreek Hill, McMillan, Thielen, or JMO. Pick 2 in PPR.
McMillan and Thielen.
I'd go Thielen and JMO. No, McMillan and JMO. McMillan and JMO. Sorry.
Okay, and
Carolina, Tampa Bay receivers for me.
McMillan, Nabers, Evans, Adams.
Nabers and Evans.
Neighbors and Evans.
I've got McMillan over Neighbors in full PPR. This is full PPR. And I've got Evans over Adams.
Tracy, Downs, Debo in the flex PPR.
Tracy.
Should I start Justin Jefferson and Addison and Jennings over Brian Tom? I don't really know the question.
So the second one's definitely do not start Jennings over Brian Thomas.
Right.
That's easy.
And I don't have a problem starting both Vikings receivers.
Nope.
In fact, I like it.
Almost voted for FBT. That's okay. That'd be okay too. But no, you should scroll down and vote for FFT. James Cook over Tyrone Tracy for us. Tight end premium. So double the PPR here for the tight end. Laporta or Achane? Achane?
Oh, tight end premium? I go Laporta.
Double premium too. Okay, I'll go Laporta.
All right. Spears, Jennings, McMillan, pick 2. Oh my.
Spears and Jennings.
I will take Spears and Jennings as well.
I will take Spears and Jennings.
You guys like the Colts or the Browns?
Colts.
I'm not going to tell you because you're trying to use information against me.
All right, I'll stick with the Colts. Oh man, Giants is the Spears or London?
Spears.
Man, it'd be great if the Giants could score like 28 points and win.
Yeah.
London.
I'd like to say something here, by the way. I'll say it again on the show later. I haven't done a check on likes yet.
You know that Spears in the last 2 games has outscored London in his last 4.
Wow,
that's a lot.
I am no longer doubting Cam Ward. Cam Ward is awesome. I don't know what my problem is. He's going to be great. The Giants should take him with the first pick.
He doesn't have Giants cleats.
What'd you say?
He doesn't have Giants cleats.
Does Shadur Sanders have Giants cleats?
He does. And the minute that he put them in his locker, he looked like crap.
We have the tendency to do that to quarterbacks. Pick 1. Garendo, Blackshear, Downs, Thielen, McMillan, or Dobbs. Running back premium. I don't know what that means, but he's down 116 points.
If it's running back premium, I'm assuming that means you get points for carries, in which case I'll happily take Garendo.
Agreed.
I would just maybe try and split the pot.
Wilson or McMillan, Okonkwo or Ferguson, PPR.
McMillan
and Okonkwo.
Yeah, I'm Wilson and Ferguson.
What is one performance from the Saturday games that surprised you the most? Biggest surprise. Marvin Mims. Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, Trey McBride scored a touchdown. That was a shocker.
Should I too? Let's see. Surprised? Cooper Kupp sucked again.
Yeah. But Chase Brown being as bad as he was, that was kind of a surprise.
Well, it's Denver's defense is good, man.
If he scores, nobody's upset.
Oh, Gesicki would have to be.
I mean, Hunter Henry literally scored 0.
That was a bad one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Chargers are really good against tight ends. Whoops. Down big. Faced Higgins with yikes. Zacchaeus, Tim Patrick. Is Zacchaeus or Tim Patrick?
It's non-PPR, so you're counting on touchdowns here. Zacchaeus just scored 2. Patrick has been a decent end zone threat for the Lions. I'm going to go Zacchaeus just with the upside.
Does the rain scare you off of Zacchaeus?
No.
No, Zacchaeus scares me off of Zacchaeus, but it's Tim Patrick. So
I think it would be a better story to remember that Olamide Zacchaeus won you a fantasy championship. It's a fun
I'd
name.
pivot to Marquez Valdes-Scantling.
All right. Kendry Miller or Amir Abdullah. We haven't had a lot of Raiders running back questions.
Abdullah.
All right.
I don't trust Kendra Miller at all.
Yeah,
Heath,
no.
take over
Please don't.
Take over for 1 minute, please. 1 minute.
I will take over for 1 minute. Leave, please. Okay. Achan, Hall, or Spears? Start 1.
Achan.
I am also going Achan. The Raiders and the Saints are playing in the worst game of the week that's not influenced by weather. Saints or Raiders defense?
Raiders.
I would look for the Browns defense just to make sure that they're not out there on the waiver wire. If they're not, then give me the Raiders.
Terry McLaurin or AJ Brown, and I'm curious, where do you have AJ Brown ranked?
I have both as top 10, but McLaurin 1 spot ahead of Brown.
I would go McLaurin over Brown, and I have Brown around 20.
Cool.
Ford, Tracy, or Garendo? Pick one.
Ford.
Ford.
Tracy for me. Okonkwo or Jonnu? We answered that one already, but I think a lot of people are dealing with it.
John.
I will still trust Jonnu Smith.
Yep. Josh Allen or Jaden Daniels?
Oh, wow.
Josh Allen.
I'm not
It's
saying
Allen
that.
for me, but I love both.
All right. Thank you, Heath. And you know what? Shame on you. Why did you read any questions? We only have 534 likes. That's ridiculous. But you know what?
That is embarrassing.
I'm not going to do that to the audience today. We would appreciate it if you hit the like button. There's almost 3,200 of you watching on YouTube. So it would be great if you could hit that like button and get those likes up. But we'll answer your questions anyway. See, Rick knows the deal. Hit the like button. Spears, would you start him over Achan, Brown, or Davante Adams in full PPR?
Over Brown.
Yep.
I would start Spears over Brown.
Achan, Jacobs, Bucky, Adams, James Cook, pick 2 PPR.
Achan and Bucky.
I
You're
believe
starting
that's who I
Achan
have.
over Josh Jacobs?
I
Yeah.
was going to say Jacobs and Achan.
No, I like Irving and Achan.
Yeah, Irving's my favorite of this group.
I like Irving and Jacobs. It is a tough matchup for Jacobs. I'm a little worried about his efficiency, but he scored like 20 points in 7 of his last 8 games or something.
I think if he can't run it, he's just going to catch 6 passes.
You could.
He is going to, I think he'll catch 4, hopefully. 6 would be great. Garrett Wilson or Rico Dowdle? PPR.
Wilson.
Agreed.
I have Dowdle higher, I think.
Chig, Ferguson, or Hawkinson, and then pick a DST.
Hawkinson and the Colts.
That's my answer.
Ferguson and the Eagles.
Yeah, we like
This is
Hawkinson.
not PPR.
We like Hawkinson over Chig.
Oh,
now.
non-PPR?
It's not PPR on the tight ends.
I
I'll go
believe only one of these guys has scored a touchdown this season, and so Okonkwo.
Yeah,
Unless
non,
I
I go
play
Chig.
too. Yeah, this is a dart throw if it's non-PPR.
I'm going to take the targets, and the target should favor Okonkwo, and I'm going to go the Colts.
Madison or Garendo, and Colts or Dolphins.
Garendo and the Colts.
Garendo.
I would be absolutely stunned if the Dolphins DST didn't do well today. And I don't feel that way about the Colts. Like I could see a scenario because they still have Malik Nabers on the field. No, I would take the Dolphins over the Colts, and that's probably it. I think I would go Dolphins 1, Colts 2. I just cannot see the Browns doing anything. They have the worst quarterback in football. They're missing Njoku. The Dolphins' run defense is really good. The only thing the Browns do well is run the ball. The weather's horrible. How could they be bad? They are the safest play in fantasy football this week. The Dolphins DST.
The Dolphins might have the worst quarterback in football today.
That's actually true.
The Giants might have the worst quarterback in football today.
Bucky or H-An, full PPR?
HN.
How?
No. I moved it to Bucky. My bad. It is Bucky.
Bucky. Me.
I mean, they're both top. I've got HN 2 spots higher.
I just
both
can't
top
see
10
it
running
going wrong. I don't know how it could go wrong for Bucky. He's super safe. HN is not.
Yeah, I'm going Bucky.
Yeah, I'm sorry for saying HN.
I don't want to dominate the show here. Do you think HN is safe?
No.
I just look at what he did in 4 games without Tua, and it was bad. It was really, really bad.
There's upside, but there's not safe.
Yeah. Always upside with him.
Yeah.
Nabers or Jennings?
Neighbors.
I think I have Jennings higher. I do.
Thomas or McMillan?
Thomas, BTJ.
Oh, yeah.
The weather's a good point, though. You know? That's the only reason he's asking.
Yeah.
Like, have you guys lowered Brian Thomas Jr.?
Yeah, he was 4 and now he's 8.
It's something. Let's see. Had a Davante Adams question here or whatever. Tracy or Myers?
Myers. PPR?
Half.
PPR.
Oh, then
I
Tracy.
might go Tracy.
I'll go Tracy, yeah.
Oh, this question is so relevant to me because I was jamming this morning to some to some Brian Adams. I was listening to the lovely Brian Adams. Davante Adams or Brian Thomas? I see the look of shame on Dave's face. Davante Adams or Brian Thomas in full PPR?
Thomas.
I think that was one of the guys I moved. I think like Adams is very good chance to be the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy this week.
There's also the chance he catches an early touchdown and sits.
You're only saying that because I'm starting him against you.
I think in 2 different leagues.
2 leagues, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, he wants to catch Aaron Rodgers, 500th touchdown? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, he's hurt and you got weather concerns there. I mean, I'm still starting him. I still rank him as a top 10 guy, but it wouldn't surprise me if he scores early and then he shuts it down.
Cam Ward. Aaron Rodgers or Bryce Young? Sorry.
That's okay.
I have Rodgers higher. I get the case for Young.
I have Rodgers higher as well. Adam, you could still start Alexander Madison or Amir Abdullah over Adams if you were worried.
I'm not that worried. Boy, oh boy, do I have a fantasy cop star. Okay, good. Send it in. Let's scroll down to some Spears or Brian Thomas Jr.
Thomas.
Spears.
I mean, I would take Thomas.
Oh man. All right, fist pumping Jamie. I'm gonna go Spears too. 2 Thomases and 2 Spears. Neighbors or Madison, Raiders or Browns?
Neighbors and Browns.
Neighbors and Cleveland as well.
Neighbors and Brown.
Spears or HN? We've answered this a lot. We'll do it again.
HN.
Still HN.
Yep.
All right, I'm Spears Island. Pick 3 of 4. Aaron Jones, Thielen, Spears, Davante Adams.
I'd sit Thielen.
Yeah, we're all going to do that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Even Heath?
I'm the low guy on Thielen.
I know. That's why I said that.
Bo Pesci, Wicks, McLeod, Zacchaeus, Tim Patrick. Pick 1, and Raiders, Vikings, or Jags.
Wicks and Raiders.
With you.
I guess.
Yeah, unanimous. Chig or Josh Downs?
Downs.
Down.
That one's from Leather Helmet Phantom. Real quick, do you think the game would actually be safer if they played with leather helmets today?
No.
Sure, much safer. That's the dumbest thing you've ever said.
No, it's not. Helmets cause so many injuries. They're weapons.
Are they wearing pads everywhere else?
Do you want them to wear flags?
They're wearing pads, but they're wearing leather helmets. They're
They're wearing shoulder pads and leather helmets.
Yeah.
All right,
Whatever
well,
they used to wear. Whatever they used to wear.
Whatever they used to wear when.
When they wore leather helmets.
You should ask Pete.
All right. Let's see what do we got. DST Premium. We can't do the whole explanation. We only have 8 minutes left. Sorry. But who do you guys like better, Colts or Eagles?
Colts.
I like the Eagles, but they're both top 5. I don't have anything against the Colts.
Yep.
Oh,
I guess if it's DST premium, you obviously have some specific DST scoring. So just take a look and see who's been better in certain categories: sacks, interceptions, turnovers, all those things.
Tucker Kraft, Chigo Conquo, Jake Ferguson. PPR, by the way.
Conquo.
Check.
Yeah.
H.N. Adams,
Bob
Neighbors.
Kraft higher. I'm sorry.
H.N. Adams, Neighbors.
Adams.
I think I have H.N. higher than Adams.
Jared listens every day. Thank you very much. Jerome Ford, Brian Robinson Jr., and Blackshear. And then we have a Superflex question, too.
Ford, if you need 1. Ford and Robinson, if you need 2. I would Superflex Cook.
Yes.
Yeah.
Josh Downs or Brian Robinson Jr., half PPR.
Robinson.
Yeah, probably.
Jonnu or Laporta, or play both. No, don't you bench Spears. Don't you dare bench Spears. Jonnu or Laporta, and Dolphins or Eagles?
Laporta.
Laporta and Spears.
I'll go with Jonnu and Spears.
Penix or Rudolph?
Rudolph.
I've got Penix.
Oh, I don't like either one. I guess I'd go Penix.
Ray McLeod or Parker Washington?
There's got to be somebody better. I'd go Zacchaeus if he's out there.
Would you go with Marquez Valdes-Scantling over these guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin Roth tweets, of the early games, Jacksonville is the only one I'd consider making lineup changes over.
Not Cleveland. Interesting.
They're a late game. They're 4
Oh,
o'clock.
that's why.
Yeah. Davante Smith or Jonnu Smith?
Jonnu.
Davante.
I will go Jonnu.
Oh, this one is from Gamer. Give me a second. Gamer. Eric. Jerome Ford, Amir Abdullah, Tyreek Hill, PPR. We need 2 here.
The 2 running backs.
I'm going to sit Tyreek Hill for Jerome Ford and Amir Abdullah in the fantasy championship.
It sounds so crazy that it's going to work.
I wouldn't blame you for just being like, no, these guys are dumb. I'm starting Jerome Ford and Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, Ford's the must.
But that's what I would do.
I wish I could bench Tyreek Hill for Ford and Abdullah. I'm benching him for Chigo Conquo and Dontavian Wicks. So I am quite jealous of Eric. Good luck to you. Ford or Tracy, PPR?
Tracy.
Ford.
Spears or Brees?
Spears.
Chig or Ertz?
Okonkwo.
Have you seen Humans versus Hamsters on Max? I've never heard of it.
No.
I have not.
What an episode of Shrinking I saw last night. Season 2, episode 5. Finally, we're done with
Television or real life
stuff.
Episode 5?
Oh my God.
Oh, you're so far. The finale was just out this week.
Oh, no, I'm not there yet. But we'll get there pretty soon. Blackshear, Tyreek, Dobbs, Wicks, Shakir. Who are we going with?
Shakir.
It's Shakir. Man, you thought it was getting sad in the first 4 episodes?
Oh, it gets sadder. I don't like the sad. Ugh. Yay, hooray, McBride. They were so determined to get him in the end zone. Darnold or Mayfield, and would you flex Ridley, Blackshear, Brandon Cooks or Dobbs?
Mayfield and Ridley.
Mayfield and Ridley.
No. Nicolas Cage, you are wrong. People do jam to Brian Adams. I had
What
the
a great
guitar
episode.
out and everything. Yes, it is. Shakir, Abdullah, or Brandon Cooks?
Abdullah.
Yeah, I might go Shakir. I'd go Shakir.
Abdullah.
Oh, this one got my attention. Dan sucks at tennis. Shakir or Downs? PPR.
I'll take Downs.
Downs.
I'll take Shakir.
AJ Brown or Tyjae Spears? PPR.
Spears.
Yeah, Spears.
I think you guys are a little too low on AJ Brown. Where do you have him ranked?
10.
11 for me.
All right, you're not
20.
too low. You're too low. $1,000 pot. I think there's 2 extra zeros there.
Too many zeros.
Yes. Penix, Pickett, Davante Smith, Jamison Williams.
I'll take Penix.
I'll take JMO if it's 4 points per pass touchdown.
And if it isn't?
Penix.
Oh, man. Heath, the guy in your FFT Open League, get rich or die Kyron, he just picked up Tyler Huntley. Who the heck is his quarterback? What is going on there? I'm gonna take a look at that.
I bet he had Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. Somebody I'm playing in a championship this week had both of those guys.
Wow. Brandon Aubrey or Jake Bates?
Aubrey.
I'll go Bates.
Okay, how about Thielen or Davante Smith?
Thielen.
Agreed.
He has Brock Purdy. I don't know why he picked up Tyler Huntley.
Maybe that was his good luck player.
Maybe. Cook or Achan?
I just picked up my good luck players. I will take Achan over Cook.
Same.
Yeah.
Tyreek, McMillan, or Thielen? Yes.
Not Tyreek.
McMillan.
I'll take Thielen.
Look at this. Finally, I found this comment. Yes, of course she loved it. The movie's amazing. Ford or Wicks? Dolphins, Raiders, Browns, Colts.
Colts, Ford.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Young or Flacco?
Flacco.
Young.
I don't know if you guys talked about this, but Young not having Mooton there is not good.
Moton? Tackle.
Mason, Rudolph, Ridley, Downs, or Blackshear, or Tracy. We need 3 of them. PPR, Superflex.
I'm getting rid of Rudolph and Blackshear.
I'm starting Rudolph, Ridley, and Downs. I'm starting Rudolph, Downs, and Tracy.
Dave, I just whistled your Kyle Rudolph song.
Yeah, I'll go Rudolph, Downs, and Tracy.
Achan, JMO, or Jennings, PPR.
Achan.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, it's almost time to set lineups for our final time. Shakir or Reed?
Shakir.
It's Shakir.
Pickett or Penix?
Penix.
Oh, we did that one. Bills, Browns, Bucks.
Bills.
Bills.
Adams or Hill? And yes, it's afternoon.
Adam.
Yeah, obviously. It is afternoon, literally.
Oh, maybe not for Crispy. I don't know where Crispy is. Heath, can we get a really good Heath sigh?
I thought I just did one.
It's got to be natural. Don't mess this man to force it. Brian Robinson Jr. or Jalen McMillan, half PPR?
McMillan.
McMillan.
2 more. Garrett Wilson or Garendo?
Wilson.
Garendo.
Pick 2. Nabers, Tracy, McLaurin.
The last 2.
Tracy.
McLaurin and Nabers.
McLaurin and Nabers.
Okay. Commanders or tight ends?
Commanders.
That's the best you could do. Raiders aren't available.
Yeah, right. I'd rather have the Raiders.
Get the Browns or the Raiders. All right,
yeah.
and Bigsby or Garendo?
Garendo.
Good luck, everyone.
Oh, my entire team in the podcast league is locked.
I'm
going to be done in 3 hours.
Purdy on Monday night, man. Like it's going to come down to that. I'm playing against Purdy in one league. It's going to be fun. You know what? Everyone, take a deep breath and just say it's only fantasy football, and just have fun with it. Just have fun with it. Okay. We'll talk to you all after the games wrap up.
Only a $120 pot.
7:45 or so. We'll go a little bit earlier today. And let's go win a championship. Good luck, everybody. See ya.